drone autonomy under EW conditions and NORDA dynamics and Mr. Nazar. Please, stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here in Tallinn, Estonia. My name is Nazar Bigun. I am a CEO and co-founder of NORDA Dynamics. We are building drones autonomy software in no GPS environment. First of all, I want to say words of gratitude from my country to Estonia, who supports us a lot. We really feel it. I was walking Tallinn these days and seeing a lot of Ukrainian flags, and it's very kind, and we really feel this support on daily basis. So thank you very much for that. What we are doing, and the topic I want to share today, is the rise of drone autonomy and the lessons learned based on my journey. As you probably know, drones account for over 50% of all strike activity on the front line nowadays, and around 10,000 drones used daily on the front line. Our deep strike drones destroyed the critical infrastructure of Russia. Our cheap naval drones sink $100 million ships of Russia. And our ground drones in some brigades are responsible for more than 90% of overall logistics. But how it all started? To me personally, it all started back in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea and invaded Donetsk and Luhansk regions. So I immediately started volunteering for our armed forces, helping, due to my master degree in physics and software engineering background, I was mainly helping our armed forces with different kinds of devices, like night vision, thermal vision, reconnaissance drones, etc. When the full-scale invasion happened, I already had a quite solid amount of military units I was working with, and simultaneously I received like hundreds of requests. So being unable to handle it on my own, I started searching for people who can help me with that. And this is where I found a few people, and we started the charity called Help a Hero, which was, again, mainly helping our military units with different types of devices. But then the breaking point happened. I call it the date when it all started. It's June 10th of 2022. I think it was the first ever video captured of FPV drones striking the Russian position. So it's definitely not the first drone that was used for this purpose, but this video became viral, and I call it the turning point. Half a year passed, and in our charity, we received the first request from military units to deliver FPV drones to them, so it was quite new to us. And we started searching where we can buy those drones. So we came to a few drone manufacturers in Ukraine, and they said, like, pay us now, wait 3-6 months, and we're going to provide you the drones because our queue is huge, because the topic became so hot. So we thought that probably in 3-6 months we could do it our own, and this is when we started our drone manufacturing, which still operates and produces around 200-300 drones per month. But our main target was not to scale the production, because we had zero experience in manufacturing scaling, but as engineers, we started to dive deeper into the topic, and we were trying to understand why the efficiency is so low. At that point, so it's like end of 2022, or the mid of 2023, the efficiency was like 8–10%. So you can imagine 1 in 10, 1 in 12 drone reaching the target. We identified the main problems, which were the radio horizon, the electronic warfare, or the unexperienced pilots, because they used to control this DJI Mavic with fancy stabilization. But if you try flying the FPV drone, it's completely different stuff. So we started thinking how we can solve the problem, and the logical solution was the so-called terminal guidance system, or the last mile targeting system. It's the system that helps you to deliver the drone toward the target even if the connection is dropped. So again, we started looking where we can buy such systems, but we found only one, I would say, early MVP product in Ukraine, and few very expensive foreign product, and it completely doesn't make sense to install like 10,000 drone system to $500 drones. So we understood there is the problem to solve, there is a market, and we started developing our own system. So by the end of 2023, basically 6 months after we started, we already deployed first few hundred examples of our system on the front line. And we destroyed our first armored vehicle, and I want to emphasize that this is the first time when the drone is being controlled by computer, flying towards the target and destroying the target, not the human. Since then, we sold more than 50,000 licenses to our software. Actually, it's getting closer to 60,000. We integrated with more than 30 drone manufacturers in Ukraine and with a few abroad. And we increased the hit rate of the drones with our system to 78%. This is the current statistic we have. I want to emphasize that it works in both fixed wings and the quadcopter. It works with the daylight and thermal cameras, meaning that it works under any weather conditions and any time of the day. Since then, we implemented the whole ecosystem. So it's not only about the terminal guidance, meaning the last 1 or 2 kilometers that our system works on, but this is the whole much bigger infrastructure. This is the watchdog, which is command and control to build the missions. This is NIRO as the micro air defense, micro rocket air defense to protect these command and control centers. This is the stable link, which is optical stabilization system that is mainly used for the repeaters. It's crucial for them to just stand still and hold the position as carefully as possible to establish the good connectivity to the strike drones. And then there is Underdog and Dark Soul. Underdog is terminal guidance that I already explained, and the Dark Soul is our fully autonomous solution for the mid and deep strike missions. The point of no return. So let me predict the nearest future in 1 and 5 years. So I predict that in 1 year, we will have the single UAV unit planning the mission where multiple, let's say, again, 10 or 20 drones will go to the specific sector. We call it the polygon. A predefined sector. We can define the dynamic no-fly zones in this sector, so drone cannot enter it. It will get there without the GPS. It will patrol the zone, searching for targets. And it will, whenever targets are found, it will prioritize and hit the target with or without human in the loop. We call it the kill zone. We develop it to stop the infantry assaults of Russian, which is a huge problem for us at the moment. And our target is to kill more Russians than they can mobilize on a daily basis. On the operational or strategic level, I envision that we will have first fully autonomous mid and deep strike, meaning that drone, the fixed wing drone with the payload, with no GPS, will fly, let's say, 100 or 150 or 200 kilometers to the area of interest. In that area, it will start searching for the target, probably easy to find, let's say, oil refinery or some not accurately masked tank or any other technique, and it will automatically engage toward the target and destroy it with no human in loop. My prediction of the future in horizon of 5 years. So I predict that on a tactical level, the fully autonomous swarm of 10 or more drones will, in GPS-denied environment, reach the area of interest. They're gonna find one or many targets. They will prioritize the targets. They will communicate between each other and decide who hits what target to do the max damage in the area. So imagine the military base being attacked by hundreds of these tiny babies. What is the protection? So probably there are two ways to protect yourself. There is either kinetical destroyment, but most likely going to destroy, in best scenario, half of them. Half of them are going to reach the target. Or it's electromagnetic impulse, probably quite efficient. We've seen recently the videos of of such machine destroying like 10 or 15 drones simultaneously. However, I am quite sure that not all the strategic objects can be protected by such machines because they consume a lot of energy. They have to be quite powerful, quite expensive, etc. On the operational or strategic level, I foresee the fully autonomous fixed-wing swarm strike in the distance up to whatever, 200 kilometers, let's say, when there are going to be detection of well-hidden targets. It will be prioritization between 10 or 20 fixed-wing drones, and they're going to hit the target from different angles to do the max damage. And it will be like super efficient, and it will suppress the enemy air defense as is. So my main message for today, we created the monster, but we are forced to do so. And whoever first develops the autonomous swarm will get the new nuclear weapon of our time. The technology is so powerful that I'm always having this thought in mind because I understand what will happen if Russians will develop such technology first. So in the interest of the civilized world is that Ukraine get the technology first, not Russia. The lessons learned. This is the name of my topic for today. So I'll share a few lessons that I've personally learned, my company learned, and probably have to be useful for a country as well. So I split it into two categories. The first one is company and country. And I want to emphasize, first of all, strategic selection of wrong core technology can make your weapon useless. If you're a weapon producer, please very carefully choose the core technologies of your product. At the beginning of the war, probably half of Western weapons were relying on GPS as a core technology. And they all became useless in the days. So they brought all these fancy drones, all these fancy rockets, whatever. Neither of them worked in modern warfare because it brings us to the second point. There is no GPS on the front line at all. I still can hear from drone manufacturers that they are relying on GPS for their military drones. Forget about GPS. Think about GPS replacement. Think about other technology. So please don't very carefully select the core technologies of your products. Next, lab-tested technology is great. But whenever you bring it to the modern warfare, it will change everything. When we lab tested our solution, it worked amazing. When we sent the first few hundred of drones with our system, it worked very well. We received great feedback. It was amazing. When we scaled it to tens of thousands, We identified so many problems on the front line that it took us 6 months of constant bug fixing and improvement to make our system work under all these circumstances. So keep in mind that modern warfare is not monogamous, but it's very different. And your technology can work perfectly well in Donetsk region, but it will not work in Kharkiv region due to some other electronic warfare combination that either your enemy is using or combination of your and enemy's electronic warfare. So keep that in mind, that unless technology is properly battle tested in at least thousands of samples, it's not yet verified that it works. Next one. Ukrainian UAV tech is far ahead of everything else what we have in the world. I'm not saying it because I'm Ukrainian, but I'm saying it because I see on how fast pace engineers are working in Ukraine. So my team is working 24/7. They don't have day offs. They didn't take the day off on a Christmas. I was office full of engineers on a Christmas. Can you imagine it in Europe? I don't think so. So just imagine how fast technology is being developed. The second advantage that unfortunately Ukraine has is the feedback loop. So the fastest feedback loop we had, it took us 28 minutes from the moment we developed the feature till it was first tested on the battlefield. Just imagine the speed of development of such technologies. And the price. So this is the economy of war. I understand that Ukraine is not the richest country in the world. I know that for us, the price is crucial, but it is crucial for you as well. This war has already proved that 100 or 1,000 pieces of cheap crap with very average efficiency gonna beat your 100 million Wunderwaffe. Don't build billion-dollar linkers anymore because it's gonna be synced in a days. So think about price whenever you develop something. Always keep the price in mind. And the last but not least, or maybe even the most important, we in Ukraine have the separate UAV units as a separate kind of military unit, right? We have UAV units embedded into our brigades, into our battalions, etc. So basically UAVs are everywhere. The same comes with UGVs as well. And I want to emphasize that. I don't think this is the case for the NATO countries yet, and I don't think this is the case for the NATO army. But this is you have to think about already, and you have to implement it for yesterday. Because I always trying to compare the army with the UAVs and army with the modern tanks fighting against each other, as imagine in the World War II, one side fighting with the tanks and the second one fighting with the bows and arrows. So just imagine how long the second army gonna survive. So it's crucial to embed the technology into the army as soon as possible. Personal lessons. So I know people are quite relaxed here, and this is the same case we had in Ukraine 23rd of February 2022. People were going for coffee, sitting in the restaurants, doing shopping, I don't know, walking with their kids and their dogs, and in a few hours, everything has changed. Nobody believed in Ukraine that the war is going to start. Trust me, nobody believed. Only few people were telling that. So I don't want you to get paranoid about war coming to Europe. I hope it will never come, because I don't want this experience to ever be shared with anyone. However, please have some food supply at home, the small amount of product that will just lay somewhere and can be used, because there will be a complete chaos in the first days of war. The second, keep your car tank full. Just keep it full all the time. If you can get the 20-liter canister and with the gas and put it somewhere again into at home or into the garage, it's not gonna, it's not the worst thing to have. then have all the valuables like money, passport, or whatever in the one place. Just let it lay in the one place. It won't take a lot of effort from you to keep it, but it is some preliminary steps for you to do, just to have. Think of your actions in the first days of war in case it's going to happen. Because it's going to be panic everywhere. People are going to do the stupid things. And there will be no products in the stores, so the shelf is going to be empty. There will be the huge lines to the gas stations, and probably gas stations will very soon run out of gas, so keep that in mind. Discuss the plans with your neighbors. Your neighbors in the first day probably going to be people you will reduce stress with, so it's very important to discuss your plans with them, just in the case the war is going to happen. So what they plan to do, what you plan to do, and to share, maybe to have some shared plans, I don't know. And whenever war starts, you're going to have two ways of action. You either run or you fight. So in both cases, you have to have a plan. In case of running, build your escape routes, because the main roads will be overloaded with the cars, and it will be not moving. So keep that in mind. Just use some secondary routes, build your route to the safe territory, and just have it in your Google Maps saved or in your mind. Or if you decide to fight, please already start thinking what military unit you want to join. Think about what technologies they use. Maybe some units already started using the UAVs. Probably this is the way to go. This is the units you want to join. Maybe if you have somebody inside, speak to them. What is their plan? What is their strategy? What technologies they're already implementing? So this is very important for you to already have the unit that you're going to join. Because again, it's going to be panic in the army as well. Yeah, so maybe sorry for a bit pessimistic, but I don't want to scare any of you, but rather I want you to be prepared in case something is going to happen. Hopefully it will never happen with your country. Here is the QR code where you can find more useful information about our company and our technology, my personal LinkedIn website and email. So in case you're interested, please reach me. Thank you very much for your attention, and if any questions, I'm happy to address that. Thank you.
Hi, you mentioned that you were, in your next stage, you're basically doing human out of the loop, so target confirmation, validation, strike, without pilot confirmation or input. Could you just expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, in terms of technology, you must understand that enabling or disabling the human confirmation is as simple as true-false parameter in the configuration, right? So you can either turn it on or turn it off. There is a NATO doctrine, the latest review of weapons, that forbids AI to decide without the human. However, if you are sure that your drone is going to operate in the particular area where there are the only legal military targets, probably you don't need the really confirmation, because you're going to be satisfied with destroying any enemy in the square. So this is as easy as that.
Next.
Hi. How do you think about topics such as false positives?
Technology is improving. I can see that the confidence of ML models that are being trained in Ukraine is getting higher. There is always a chance, but in the most of military targets, I can see that our models achieved already 90+% proximity, so it's quite high confidence already.
Hi. How do you differentiate between friend versus foe in the kill zone currently, if it's in fully autonomous mode?
Can you please repeat the question? I can't.
How do you differentiate friend versus foe in the fully autonomous kill zone right now, if there is no clear line and you have different units in different sections, for instance?
So you do not really differentiate because for the recognition model is basically the same. The very important thing, however, is some kill zone distance nowadays can be up to 40 kilometers already. At some places, it's smaller. It's up to, I don't know, 8 kilometers, 4 kilometers. So it depends on the area. Your confidence to meet the friend or enemy is different. So in the narrow areas, when there can be high possibility of your units performing some operations, you always rely on confirmation by the pilot, by the UAV unit. In the areas of wider areas, when you're confident that there are no friends there is high, you can delegate the responsibility to AI to destroy anything that comes to the area. So,
okay, last question.
I guess there is none.
No questions. Cool.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
having me.
Дякую.
Дякую. Слава Україні.
Okie dokie.